Hello. Alright, just a little bit of a skinning and weight painting thing that'll help some people. So we've just had the horse armor skinned and some weight painting done to it just so it doesn't clip, but the original horse's hair was never ever animated with horse armor in mind, so you can see it's constantly clipping right through the armor. So one way of doing it is having new animations done for that to make sure that the horse hair doesn't clip through the armor. But a quicker way of doing it is just selecting I'll do quickly make a duplicate of this. So there's the original hair. We want to keep the original hair. We just want to make a duplicate special, so that just keeps all the weights. So duplicate special. So there's the original. You don't want to mess with that. So Control H, hide that. So here's the new hair. I'm just going to pull it up here into our horse armor. Alright, so one way of doing it is to select those vertices and just push them in. And you can actually do that, and it doesn't, the weights will respect that. You don't lose, it's not as if the weights are going to reset and push back and move those vertices back into position. If you do this while in your vertice edit mode, it actually remembers it. So now when it animates, it's no longer clipping through that clump of hair isn't. That still is. The only problem is there's some extreme cases where the horse's hair is flying out to the sides, clipping through the geometry. And in order to make that look okay, you have to push it so far in that when the horse is in an idle position, the hair is no longer visible. So if I have to push this in, but there's times where this hair also flicks out to the side, that if I have to push it in, if I take this extreme case and push all this geometry in, so it's underneath the horse armor, when the horse is in more of an idle position, the hair is actually no longer visible because it's so far into the neck of the horse. And sometimes concealing things into the neck of the horse is fine. It's just as a shortcut, basically for time constraint. But it must just be still aesthetically serving its purpose when the horse is idle. It should still be there. If it's going to constantly be inside the horse's neck and only be visible in extreme cases, that defeats the purpose. So in this case, pushing the vertices in is not going to work because there's some extreme animations that just require us to push it so far in that when the horse is in an idle position, you can no longer see the hair. So in this case, we'll just go back. We're going to face mode this time. We'll just select all the faces. And the nice thing is, if you just delete the faces, the tail will keep all its weight painting. If you have to separate it, it does break that. So I wouldn't separate the geometry, I would just go in there and delete it. And now everything's working, and in this case I've just deleted the mane because pushing it in constantly was so concealed that you couldn't really even see the hair anymore, so it defeated the purpose of the hair even being there. So I've just removed the hair, and sometimes that's also an option, a choice to make. But obviously, with more time on your hands, if you're dealing with something that you really want to customize and invest additional time in and additional assets, you can then create special hair and special animations for that. But in this case, we found that the chest plate and the neck armor conceals so much of the hair that it was just easier just to delete the hair from that geometry set. Okay, so I hope that helps. So you've learned, hopefully you've learned something new. If you haven't known that already, you can just push the vertices in and the weights will respect that. And if that's not working for you, you can just delete those faces, and you won't have to redo the weights for other areas that you might want to still retain. Alright, so all of the best. Take care.